Hey, this is Brent with BDA Studios, and today I want to talk about how to create a laser engraving jig with your laser. So I'm going to use my xTool M1 Ultra, and it's the 20-watt version, and I have these little tins that have a lid on them, and I want to be able to engrave on these. And so I want a jig so I can set up multiple tins within my engraving space and make it easier so I could repeatedly set those up. There's a number of ways you can do this. You can use cardboard, you can use wood, you can even use paper. So I want to show how you can use paper to create a template to make sure it's the right size, and then the advantages of using cardboard or to use wood as well. So we need to get some measurements of the object that we're going to create the jig for, and I've already gone ahead and measured the bottom of this because when it sits I want it to hold on to the bottom of it. And so let's go into xTool Creative Space, and with our dimensions we'll create a template. So I want to come over here and create a rectangle, and from here I'm going to draw out my rectangle, and in this case I don't want them to be locked, so I want to unlock those. And I've measured this, and it is approximately 89.5 millimeters by 57.5 millimeters. So now I've got my rectangle. Now on these tins there's a rounded corner, and this is where using paper makes it easier so that you can check whether the corner radius is correct. So I'm going to just guess at a corner radius of 4 and see what that looks like. So let's go ahead and cut this out. So here is the paper, and when I hold it up to the bottom, what I'm seeing, and it's kind of hard to show, but the corners are too sharp. They're not rounded enough. So with that, let's go back here and let's select our object, and let's go ahead and just change this. Let's bump it up to 10, a radius of 10. Let's go ahead and cut that out and see how that looks. Okay, so now I have my paper that has a corner radius of 10, and when I line these up, it looks really good. It's hard to tell on camera here, but it is much better for that. Okay, so next what we need to do is figure out what type of material we want to use, and it really determines based on what you're using and how often. If you're going to be creating a lot of one thing, you may want to create the jig out of wood. If you're only creating a few and you're not worried about reusing the template that much, then I've found it's really good to work with cardboard, and I've got this really thin packing cardboard that I like to use, and I'll have a link to that in the description. But let's go ahead and use cardboard and see how that sets up. I've already gone ahead and I've got my layout set up for cardboard, and I've done two things. One, I've got a label that I can engrave onto the cardboard so that I can remember what it is. So when you go ahead and create a template like this, you really need to remember what they are, so it's good to mark things. You could also mark settings for like what the engraving settings are for the tins themselves. There's a lot of things you could do. So keep that in mind when you want to label it. So I have that set to engrave, and then I've created a layout where I've got 4 on a page, or 4 on a template, And let's talk about how we create that using the grid array. So for now, let me go ahead and delete these others. So here's my initial template that we know is the right size. And then I come over here to applications, and on applications I click grid array. So with the item selected and I have chosen grid array, it automatically creates a couple of it has a 1 row and 1 column. You can certainly add more if you want. It really depends on the size of the cardboard or the wood that you're using. So in our case, I'll just have 4, but these are really close together, so you want to give yourself some spacing. So you can add some spacing there, and then once you're done, then you've got this set up so that you can, now you have a grid and you can line this up. I've gone ahead and pre-cut these already, but I'm showing you what I've done in XCS. When you're ready to go ahead and cut, make sure you've got things set up for cutting for these, and then make sure the power and speed and these settings worked well for what the thickness of cardboard that I've had. Again, make sure that you mark the area that you're going to cut out, and also be sure to measure so that the focus is correct. Okay, so here is the template, and it works really well. It holds the tins just fine. They fit in each little square without any issue. And so if this is all you need, if you're going to do a handful of objects, this may be just what you need. If you're going to repeat it over and over, and you say you're doing 100 of something and you need to reuse this, notice that the center pieces, because it's cardboard, it can be very thin, and so when you're moving it in and out and you're coming back to this could wear out. So the next best alternative is to use wood. And in my case, what I've found is I've got this 1/8 wood that I really like, and it's MDF. It's pretty affordable, plus the size of it is, it's 12 inch by 12 inch square, which is roughly the size of the engraving cutting area. So it fits for the M1 Ultra just fine. So keep that in mind. But again, this works really well. So let's go ahead and I'll show you how we can set it up. So here I've got the same thing. I've created a grid array, and I've got, in this case, I could fit 6, well, what is this, 9? 3 across and 3 down. So I have 9 on one board. I've also got the engraving. And the thing to make sure is that you're double checking that the settings for cutting and engraving are right for this board that you've got. Okay, so here is the template for the MDF, and it works really well. It's nice and sturdy, and it's going to last a lot longer. If you've got these edges, again, this is going to be the weak point. The weak point is the thinner parts of the wood. What you can do then is take a uncut piece and then glue it on, and then you've got yourself a nice jig that will last a long time. Let's talk about the pros and cons of using MDF or other plywood. one of the problems with MDF especially is it creates a lot of soot on the edges, the charring from the laser cutting through. It is very messy, and I know it's a little difficult to see, but you get a sense that basically what ends up happening is it's really dirty. You have to wipe it down, and it's going to get all over your hands. And so just be aware of that when you're cutting with MDF, especially. I've found with MDF, it tends to do a lot of charring, a lot of soot that you have to clean up. Cardboard, hardly any. So again, there's some advantages. It depends on, just be aware of that. But you'll be left with some really cool blanks that you could probably reuse. You could repurpose these as name tags or as ornaments. You know, there's a lot of things you can do with this material. So this is one way that you can create jigs with your laser. You can use paper, you can use cardboard, and then you can use wood. So I would recommend practicing, experimenting with what you have, figuring out the material that's best for you, and then be sure to save your settings and keep track of, and again, label the templates with all the information you need so that you can remember. You can pull that template right out, and when you're ready to use it, you've got the settings that you need. Well, thank you for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.